After watching this video, you're gonna be able to build a collapsible backdrop arch for your event or party by yourself. So I start with a plywood board, which is 46 inch in my case. So I'm looking for the middle. The middle is gonna be 23 inches from one side and 23 from the other side. Mark it. And it's gonna be 8 inches thick. So now we need to drill a hole right in the middle, insert a guide nail, or don't if you use your jigsaw to cut the corners, but in my case I use circle cutting jig from Jasper. And if you wonder about any tools I'm using, I have a list in my description, so you're welcome to check it out. And the list is not that big because I don't own a lot of tools. So right now I'm using my circle cutting jig with a palm router to cut outside circle first, and then I'm gonna be careful here because we need to leave 8 inches to have a thickness of 8 inches for our arch. With the same hole, with the same guide nail, I cut the second circle, sweep the dust to have a better visibility, and now I'm using my truck saw with trucks. I'm using Makita to cut the straight line from one side and the second side. So I measured before 8 inches exactly from one side and from the other side, but when you cut with a palm router, there is sometimes slight difference. It's not exactly 8 inches, it's like a tiny bit thicker or tiny bit less, tiny bit more. So in my case it's a tiny bit more. So I'm just placing new marks to make sure thickness is exactly the same. So it's a slightly more than 8 inches, which is good. I think just double checking to make that precise cut and doing the same thing from the other side. And I don't go all the way up to the circle just to be safe. So now I'm using my jigsaw to cut those knobs a little bit leftovers. Now I will attach a back support for the walls. Right here I'm using my bread nailer with tiny nails to make sure I don't go all the way through, and I'm using glue, of course. I like Titebond 3. It does not dry super fast. After applying, you still have plenty of time to work with the piece, and it's really strong glue for wood. Highly suggest. My favorite glue so far. Now let's move on to prepare arch, to cut it in half to make it foldable. So the whole arch is 7 feet tall, 7 feet high. So I'll measure half. Half is gonna be 42 inches, but I'll do a little bit more than that. I'll do 42 and a half, just to make a top part a little bit shorter, so when you fold the arch it does not rub or hit the ground. So 42 and a half on one side, 42 and a half on the other side, and I leave this 5-inch mark to know exactly where to attach these little boards for the locking mechanism. The locking mechanism is pretty simple. It's just 2 tiny boards and one on top, and the lock itself, just like you see right here in this example. So when it's down, it's locking the arch from folding, and when it's up, you can fold the arch. And now with my extra long trucks, I will cut the arch backdrop in half. And right here you need to be careful to make sure your cut is as accurate as possible, so the cut is not visible from the front. Right now I'm just making sure it all fits together really precisely. I'm attaching little hinges for the locking mechanism, and now same process but with the bigger hinges on the back for a support, and I left those holes in back support for sandbags. So unlock the locks and you can fold your arch, and it's twice smaller, so you can carry it in any car or just for storage purposes. There you go. See, and the cuts in front, they're almost not visible. You cannot see them. Really nice. All right, if you like this video, please subscribe. I will post more different kind of event decoration, event backdrops and stuff like that. Thank you. Bye.